I need a new YouTube or something. I've been sitting here working at my desk for the past 7 hours. Notifications are on, YouTube is open, but nobody thinks to tell me that 21 Pilots have gone live. But then go to Reddit, turns out I've been streaming, everyone knows about it, but YouTube didn't want to tell me. I don't know, maybe I've been banned from watching 21 Pilots live streams or something like that. At least they left this one up, because I also missed the Instagram one. But regardless, I have to say, that was a pretty cool drum show. I don't know why everyone's saying it was just a teaser for an upcoming song and stuff like that. Clearly that was the drum show itself. But in all seriousness, it does seem like they are teasing a new song once again. It probably will be the song Drum Show based off of all accounts. I had actually sat down and was getting ready to record a video talking about what we know so far about the upcoming song and everything that's been leaked and teased and so on. And then this happened. So it seems like we might be getting a sort of countdown to release thing like we did for the contract. It looks like, at least so far, they're going to do it somewhat differently to what they did before. But they are going to be kind of cryptically teasing it again for this song. Starting with this random, spontaneous, super long live stream that only really contained a little bit of footage in it. Which makes me think that the length of the live stream itself is probably significant. Maybe. Or it's just, 21-25, because the band 21 Pilots is putting out an album in 2025. But there were, yes, a number of interesting elements to this video. I don't know that it's necessarily packed with clues, but there were a couple of significant ones to be found within there. And like I mentioned, I just found out about this. I haven't really been able to sit down and think about all the implications of everything that we see in here. I did watch it once through before hitting record, but all my thoughts here are pretty preliminary. So I'd be curious to hear any of your thoughts, anything that you think, any connections you think can be drawn between the little clues that were dropped here and what might be coming next, or how this ties into the story. It looks like it's not going to be a lore-based video. It's going to be more of just a almost DIY, perhaps, type thing. Now, it could be tied into the lore, but Tyler's not dressed like Clancy. Josh isn't dressed like the torchbearer, so it probably won't be. But the first interesting thing that we saw was the license plate on the van as it drove in. It said FPE 8558. What does that mean? This is the first time we've really seen FPE in this era. I guess technically the first time was on the first pressing edition of Breach, that vinyl, but that didn't really seem like it was tied into the lore in any way. This seems a bit more related to the story, perhaps. 8558. Now, that doesn't really fit in with the numbers that we have so far for the FPE, the failed perimeter escape code, the violation code. Looking at the bishops that would correspond to that, they're related to the songs Doubt, Tear My Heart, and Ride. Not sure if there's any clear connection there between those. In fact, probably there isn't. But then also, if we look at the track list for Breach, track 8 is Cottonwood, 5 is obviously the contract, and 3 is Drum Show. But then why would it be Cottonwood, contract, drum show? So that doesn't really seem to make much sense either. Could it be a date? Not really sure how. Could it be code for a word, as some have been speculating online, on Reddit? Yeah, maybe. But that doesn't really line up either. That would get us, I believe, Heek, Heec. But I think the most likely explanation here is that the two-part album of Clancy, if you will, the double album, Clancy and Breach, is actually not going to be a double album. In fact, it's not going to be a triple album. There are going to be 8,553 albums released over this year and next. Throughout the video, as they're setting up the drums, or more specifically as Josh is setting up the drums, a number of different service announcements come on in the background. The first one being service requested at level 8, then level 1, and then level 8 again. 818. Could that be referring to August 18th? Maybe. I think it's a little unlikely that we'll get a song on a Monday, but not impossible. They certainly aren't sticking to the new music on Fridays thing anymore, as we got the contract on a Thursday, so a Monday is entirely possible. It just seems a little strange. It's a bit of an odd day to release music. Not impossible. It is a week from now, week from today. The other possibility is that that's when the next teaser is going to come out, a week from today, on Monday, and that perhaps it'll be more frequent from that point onwards. If they release more teasers before then, obviously we'll know that that theory is incorrect, and also we might have a more confirmed date for when the song is going to come out, which would confirm or deny the connection there. It is interesting to note that they themselves are on level 6, not 8 or 1. Probably no significance there, but you never know. There might be. And then, of course, there's these red lights in the van that seem pretty normal, just typical van lights, but are strangely reminiscent of the glowing eyes that we saw throughout the music video for the contract. Again, is there a connection there? Maybe. And again, I don't think that this video is going to be part of the lore. But at the same time, Next Semester, as a music video, wasn't part of the lore, but it did have elements of the car from Heavy Dirty Soul, for instance, and references back to that video, even though it was not part of the lore. But Heavy Dirty Soul is. But by all accounts, it does seem like we will be getting a new song soon, not just because of this teaser, but also because certain sources like Apple Music seem to be indicating that a song, Drum Show, has been registered for release on that platform, and also potentially the song Robot Voices. Now, unfortunately, the fact that Robot Voices might have been registered kind of makes it even harder to figure out what the FPE numbers are talking about, because if it was another song like Cottonwood, or we just didn't even know, we had no indication about what the single after Drum Show would be, then we can maybe speculate that the 8, 5, and 3 numbers that we see would refer to Drum Show, the contract, and Cottonwood. But again, why do we have 2 5s? So even that wouldn't quite line up or make sense. So anyway, all of this is very exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do next, how they continue to tease this upcoming music, how different or similar it will be to what they did for the contract. I would be happy if they did something a bit more different than the contract. The way they teased that song was great, but it would be cool to see them vary things from one song to the next. And again, I'm curious to see if there will be a music video for every song on this album. There are no indications so far that there will be, but it does seem like they're sort of filming some videos in the style of what they did for Clancy, sort of some more laid-back videos, coupled with some more high-budget lore videos. And also, it seems to have been discovered online that they're filming a video in Los Angeles that's going to be much more high-budget. In fact, I think they've finished filming it. It's going to have a whole cast and crew and things like that. It's not just going to be them, and it's going to have people playing a number of bishops and some citizens of Dima, I think, and some banditos as well. So I'm curious what song that's going to be associated with. Because like I said, there's some indication that Robot Voices is coming next. But is that music video going to be for that song? There's no reason why it can't be. But it does have certain implications for what Robot Voices is going to be about, if it's going to have a very high-budget or heavy music video accompanying it. With that being said, this was just a quick update on the latest bit of news from 21pilots. Comment your own thoughts on this down below. Let me know what connections you think can be drawn, anything that I missed. Again, this was a very preliminary glance. Perhaps over the next few days as I look at it more or more information comes out, I'll have more to say on it or more connections that I myself have drawn. But let me know what you saw and what connections you've drawn. And don't forget to subscribe for music commentary and reviews.